Alright, what we have here, this is a 2004 R1150RT. A little bit of a story on this bike. I bought it a number of years ago and it ran pretty good. I drove it for, I don't know, 10 or 15,000 miles. And I ended up selling it to a guy down in Santa Maria, about 30 miles south of here. He bought it, asked me how it ran. I said it runs good. It's a used bike. It could run a long time or it could go out on you tomorrow. It is a used motorcycle. So he smiled and acknowledged that, took the motorcycle, paid me the money, and that was that. About a month later I got a text from him, said, hey, this motorcycle, driving it down towards Santa Barbara on the freeway, started to increase in RPMs, rev up, and the bike started to slow down until it came to a stop, and it wouldn't move. So engine was revving, in gear, clutch out, no movement. So clearly, most likely something got on that clutch plate, made it slippery, clutch doesn't work. Also in his text he said he had been in a major car accident and was probably never going to recover to the degree of ever being able to ride a motorcycle, much less fix this one. Asked me if I wanted to buy it back. So being the nice guy I am, yeah, I went down there. He was beat up pretty bad from this car wreck. No way he would ever be able to fix the bike or ride it. I mean, it's a major repair. So, nice guy that I am, I just gave him his money back and took the motorcycle. So now I have it. It's been sitting for a while, but I'm at the point where I'm going to dive into it, see what's wrong with that clutch. My best guess is that it is the clutch hydraulic slave cylinder is leaking, made its way to the clutch plate. And the reason I say that is because when I pull in this clutch, there's just nothing there. It's just squishy. Yeah, it doesn't, it has no feel to it. It's just nothing. So my guess is that's what it is. So we'll pull it apart, split the bike in half, spend an afternoon, and see what we got. Okay, we got the monster apart, and what I found wasn't at all what I thought. I thought for sure it was going to be some oil leakage down on that clutch. See, we got the transmission out, we're down to the bare bones there. But it wasn't. It wasn't the slave cylinder, a clutch slave cylinder leak. It wasn't the rear seal leak, engine seal leak. And it wasn't the transmission seal leak. It was simply a worn out clutch. So if we come over to our clutch parts, you can see here that the friction disc, old friction disc, is worn down into the rivets. In fact, the rivets were getting into the pressure plate and the housing. You can see the thickness difference there between the two. Here's the new one, there's the old one. Clearly this thing is way worn down. The other thing, if you're replacing a clutch, you think, well, you don't want to spend the money to replace the housing, the friction disc, and so forth. What you'll find is these things are wore down concave. If you put the old friction disc on here, no gap on the outside, no gap on the inside, so it sets flat. Same thing on here. If you put the new one on, you're going to see no gap on the outside. However, there is a gap on the inside. So what that means is this thing is worn concave. You can put a straight edge across there and see it pretty clear. So I suppose you could go without replacing these two pieces, and eventually that new clutch friction disc is going to wear in and wear to the face of that. That's clearly not a good way to go. You want that clutch in there right. You'd probably get slippage. It may grind its way down flat faced, so it's on that, but that's not good. So while we got this thing tore down to this degree, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and replace the clutch slave cylinder, the hydraulic slave cylinder. I got a fairly new one to put in. Going to replace that rear engine seal, and we're going to put a different transmission in it. So the internals is probably good, but there's some run out on this. There's some noise coming out of this bearing, so we're just going to put a different transmission in it, and I'll rebuild this one at some time in the future. So we'll do all that. We'll put it together, and we'll take a motorcycle ride. All right, I finally got this beast put back together, and boy, it runs really nice. Runs way better than I remember it. That new transmission's nice and tight, right, just like a new one. Brand new clutch, new hydraulic clutch slave cylinder, new rear engine seal. What it doesn't have is new blinkers on it yet. Front end blinkers, I gotta get those. Those are kind of taped on from the spare bike that I have. But it does run nice. Don't know if I'm gonna keep it or maybe resell it. Nah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Put it in my collection, and another one that saved from the junkyard. All right, well, let's go have some fun with it.